The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks here on Locked On Canucks. One love to the Don'tos Art Lab for giving us the space to give you that West Coast bias on the low. We blessed, yeah, we live in the most expensive place in North America. It feels like that. And again, the Don'tos Art Lab, looking out for you and you and you and you and you and you, allowing us to just, again, ramble, assume, allege, and want the best from this version of the Vancouver Canucks. And today, let's talk about it. Brayden Schenn to the Canucks. Maybe. Who knows? But apparently, according to some, including Frank Saravelli, right? Polarizing man. Apparently, the St. Louis Blues are ready to make trades. And before it's Jordan Kyrou, it could be Brayden Schenn, right? 2 years left on a deal that pays him $6.5 million. I feel like this guy has like 5 points, 6 points this year, minus 12 in 16 games. This is after he came off a 50-point season last year. And I know you probably want to hear the analytics and the fancy stats, but boom, bam. I'm not that guy. But I do got eyes, and I got ears. And I don't know. I'm not the biggest Brayden Schenn hater. Speaking of which, again, I said I have these ears. And remember, last year, the Canucks are kicking the Blues' ass in the middle of the season. Brayden Schenn, after the first intermission, he sends a message to the NHL that this is just not good enough, calls out his team, and ultimately turns his team season around psychologically, okay? Subconsciously as well. What I'm trying to say is, this dude's a dog. He's a competitor, and the Canucks do need guys like this more often. That being said, the Canucks are the Canucks. And yeah, Brayden Schenn could be a way better 2C than Lucas Reichel. What a sentence. And Brayden Schenn probably puts us over the top, a.k.a. brings us back into potentially being a wild card team. For real. Also, Brayden Schenn, you bring him in as a 2C. Again, I don't have his underlining stats with me in front of me. But I'm going to assume, and again, based on the eye test, we played St. Louis twice this year. I'm going to assume that he would add to the identity the Canucks are trying to build down the middle, right? Again, crazy sentence, but Elias Pettersson just turned into Philip Deneau or Patrice Bergeron. Nonetheless, points don't matter. Just be cerebrally, defensively sound. Take a load of that sentence, and you could build something, quote unquote, identify. How do I say this word? Identify. What I'm trying to say is this. You bring Brayden Schenn into the mix, you start building some identity, not just with the courage, but by having two centers who, I don't know, play hard defensively, have a good attitude towards defense. Speaking of which, I just saw a clip of a child reporter asking a head coach what's more important for individuals on his team when it comes to defense. Is it more important for them to have technique or good attitude towards defense, right? Good technique versus good attitude. And the coach answered with attitude, right? AKA the want to be great defensively, right? The want to understand that that's also a fun part of the game and where your instincts can kick in. And also the understanding that that is where you win the game in the defensive zone, right? The attitude that defense rocks. Elias Pettersson does have it instinctually too, to a high level as what, you know what I'm saying? And then if you bring Brayden Schenn into the mix, the Canucks, again, could start somewhat of an identity, something that they lack. But maybe they're close to, again, Elias Pettersson being so good defensively. A poor man's Selke winner, some are saying, You bring Brayden Schenn here, maybe then, the Canucks' daunted defense, one of the best defensive cores in hockey, maybe they all get it together because they get more help. And again, the Canucks become a more tougher team to play against. Some would say playoff ready, but I'm just going to say a tougher team. Then you can get closer to being like the New Jersey Devils of the early 2000s. Just be a hard team to play against. Again, you bring Brayden Schenn in, that could happen. That being said, again, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? As much as you want to glorify Elias Pettersson's defensive abilities and maybe, I don't know, put that in a sentence where it then makes sense to go all in and trade picks to bring in Brayden Schenn because, we got to win this year. Come on. Good defense aside, if Elias Pettersson only has 11 points in 17 games, you don't make any trades. You don't make any trades. I don't care if, bringing Elias Pettersson more help ASAP would give him more offensive zone starts, as Oliver is saying, thus maybe giving Elias Pettersson more chances to create offense. No. You know what I'm saying? Until Elias Pettersson, A, does it on his own, or B, even proves that he's dynamic offensively and he's just getting a little unlucky when it comes to the box score, unless it's clear that that's the case, until it's clear that, and loud and clear on that note, until he stops saying things about his confidence and stops saying things remember that Ian McIntyre article, right, about his shooting and how it's a mindset thing and he has to get into that mindset. Until we don't hear or see the insecurities in that guy's offensive game, we cannot make any moves. For real. Straight up. Speaking of which, comments. Mother Knucker says Brayden Schenn seems more likely based on the no trade clause situation and preference, as both Ryan O'Reilly from Nashville and Stamkos from Nashville prefer to be with a contender in a warm area. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but again, in Brayden Schenn, whether it be Brayden Schenn, Ryan O'Reilly, it's just not the time. It's just not the time. And what would you call this? A seller's market? The Vancouver Canucks at 8-8-1. At 8-8-1, where their number one center has 11 points in 17 games, they just cannot make a trade. Until this team can prove that they could do the most, become beast, drink that Gatorade, put this team on the back, a.k.a. Elias Pettersson, put this team on his back so well that it equates to more efficiency in the win column, I'm not doing nothing. I may be trying to get a little lucky with the Lucas Reichel stuff, which is annoying. I know the 4th round pick for that could have been player. But to get the cream of the crop when it comes to acquisition down the middle in the NHL, you're just going to be paying a premium. And the Canucks, this team right here, don't deserve to be doing that. Now, on that note, again, look at Patrick Allvin, right? And we didn't talk about this. Let me know in the comments about your thoughts on Patrick Allvin on After Hours, because he said a lot. And, to his credit, he didn't throw the team under the bus. In fact, he doubled down on his belief. And you can't have it all, right, Kyle? I'm talking to myself. As much as it annoyed me to hear what he said about rebuilding, I will say, I did ask for this team to stop throwing their team in front of the bus, and Allvin didn't do that on the weekend. He supported his guys, and he told the hockey world that you don't rebuild when you got Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, and Thatcher Demko on your team. Again, supporting the blue and green. And I'm here thinking, okay, you can't start a rebuild if you have Demko, Pettersson, and Hughes, but you also can't win hockey games consistently when you have Demko, Pettersson, and Hughes. Sometimes when they say things, I question how much they believe in the intelligence of their market. But again, all in all, they're supporting their troops. And because think about it, when names like Brayden Schenn are available, when Nazem Kadri's available, and with the Canucks indicating that they just want to keep Quinn Hughes and they're not rebuilding, they're going to be in on the action, and I feel like a trade is going to happen. Straight up. Now, why would St. Louis want to trade with Vancouver? Right, that's the other part of this deal. I know St. Louis has sucked this year, but I'm going to assume they still want to make the playoffs or not load up, not a contender, but a competitor, right? Vancouver's right up their alley. All that being said, St. Louis is another one of those teams. I mean, if they don't go on the heater, they don't make the playoffs, right? They started bad last year as well. Or mediocre, that is, right? Actually, it was like bad/mediocre. It was, again, maybe, just maybe, the GM of the St. Louis Blues is coming to terms with, I'm not going to say tank, but do your best to slide down the draft, okay? Why not? Why not? Because they're not that far away, and it's a Gavin McKenna draft. And who's the guy that's supposed to go number 2 who may go number 1? Like, it's a pretty deep draft. And look at all the top scores in the NHL, right? Whether it be McKinnon, McDavid, Bedard, Celebrini, Leo Carlson, right? All top guys. All top draft picks. I just wonder if St. Louis sees their team as a team that, with Kyrou and with Brayden Schenn, yeah, we can make the playoffs and turn this around, and there's so much parity. And if you make the playoffs, you have a chance, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they could hold on to that, but how about just do the more surefire thing? Right? And that's acquire top-end talent in the easiest ways possible. And that's not by attracting free agents to St. Louis. Speaking of attracting, the free agent list, not looking attracting at all over the next couple of years. And maybe never will, considering everyone just signs. But yeah, you don't acquire players like that. You don't acquire... I was going to say you don't acquire top-end talent with trades because, we've seen that happen with like Eichel and etc. And also with the signings thing. Remember, these guys help their team out with the offer sheets. All in all, though, again, I'll go to the grave saying that right now the best way to just improve your team, especially if you're mid, but you have guys like Robert Thomas and Snuggaroo and they're just pieces, but they shouldn't have made the Bolduc trade. But all in all, like, I don't know how far they are away. Like, maybe they're 1 or 2 pieces away from being a really good team. Even have some goalie depth outside of Binnington. Maybe they just view this season as a wash, and the most successful outcome for them is to get a top pick. Anyways, Brayden Schenn on the block. Are the Canucks interested? Who knows? All in all, though, I just think the Canucks shouldn't do anything, but they're going to do something. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is going to be a short show. We're going to run one ad here, and then I'm going to read your comments because I got a meeting, and we'll be back for the post-game show, okay? Should the Canucks acquire Brayden Schenn? Again, the answer is no, because Elias Pettersson, no offense, needs to supply way more offense before a mediocre team in the Canucks trades assets again. It's just that obvious. And I think they want to know that too, but they're not allowed. Aquilini, man. Nonsense. Anywho, we'll be back on the other side. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Yes, FanDuel doing its thing and giving you $300 in bonus bets if you're a new customer and you place a $5 bet, man-oh-man, make a parlay. Get in on the action and don't watch the Packers play, man. Just bet the under on the Packers. You bet the under on the Packers and you'll win $1 million on a parlay. That's allegedly not I don't know the math. So go visit FanDuel.com. New customers, you place a $5 bet, get some money back in bonus bets. Boom, bam. Again, visit FanDuel.com to learn the rest. And yeah, just put the unders on the Packers. Yeah, I don't want to watch football anymore. I don't want to watch football anymore. We got Trevor Beggs in here too. Trevor, I don't want to watch football. We're still shouting out FanDuel here. You got anything to say about FanDuel?
Yeah, bet the over on the Seahawks game, buddy. There you go.
Okay. All right. Okay. You know what? Let's get back to the show. Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks. I'm glad to have Trevor here. Out of nowhere, I didn't know this guy was going to join us right now. I do got to leave pretty soon, and I thought I was going to read the comments, but I kind of want to ask you: should the Canucks be interested in Brayden Schenn?
At the price, probably not. As a player, absolutely. I mean, I think he would be a good fit for this team. I mean, we've talked about them being small. We've talked about them being soft. They lack proven winners on the team. I think Brayden Schenn brings all of that. But Kyle, he's going to cost a first-round pick and maybe even plus, right? I think there are going to be teams that are willing to pay on Brayden Schenn. I mean, look at the shortage of centers around the league.
Yeah.
Brayden Schenn, there's a reason that he's allegedly, assumingly on the block. And that's because the Blues are going to get a lot for him. And until the Canucks team proves that they're more than just a 500 squad, I mean, Brayden Schenn is not going to move the needle on that. I mean, look, I like the player,
What he will do, though, Trevor, what he will do, though, because the way Patterson's playing defensively, you bring Brayden Schenn in. I don't know what his fancy stats are saying. Like, I can't back up if he's still like a good defensive center. I mean, we've played him twice, and I don't think he like stood out as a bad one. He's Brayden Schenn. You know, you get what you get. But if you bring in Brayden Schenn, the Canucks do enter I don't want to say the next tier, but what do they enter? They're like, oh, they're probably going to make the playoffs. It feels like that, which is not saying much, but you get the Brayden Schenn thing, and it's like you go from, I don't know, maybe making the playoffs to probably making the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it even moves the needle that much. But it obviously would be an improvement, right? I mean, Lucas Reichel is the second line center. It was a nice low cost experiment, but we're 8 games in and it hasn't worked, and it doesn't look like it's gonna work, to be honest. I think you probably trust Ratu and Sasson out there more than you do Lucas Reichel, which is saying something. So look, Brayden Schenn would obviously help this team, but reports are that the Blues want a first rounder, and they probably want a first rounder than maybe a mid-tier prospect. Like, is it a first and Mancini? That seems too steep for me for Brayden Schenn, but I think the Blues are going to have a big ask when it comes to getting Brayden Schenn. And yeah, unless the Canucks prove that they're not some just bottom-feeding team, I don't think there's necessarily a fit there for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, Kyle, look, they were the perfect mid-team in the past 3 games, 1-1-1, 8-1 in the season. And look, we could talk about Elias Pettersson looking like a Selke candidate if he breaks out, and if that happens, like if this team around January goes on a bit of a heater and looks like they could do something, then we're having a different conversation. But I think right now, as much as they need a centerman, it's like you can't just be paying big assets for a 34-year-old Brayden Schenn. I'm not sure how old he is, but
34.
Yeah, he's 34. There we go. You can't be paying big assets for Brayden Schenn. I mean, you just can't do it. He'd be a nice fit for this hockey team, but you just can't be paying first round plus for a guy like Brayden Schenn when you're a mid team like the Vancouver Canucks.
I wonder again if Elias Pettersson has 6 or 7 more points this year, and we're still 8-1. I wonder if like our energy is like, yeah, Pettersson some help. But right now,
if we're 10-6-1 and Pettersson's a point per game player, I think we're having that energy for sure. So it's the margins are slim, right? And we've talked about it. Every dayers know the parity in the NHL is pretty crazy, and I know the Canucks are on the lower end of the parity scale. But there's just so much mediocrity, so much parity in the league right now that, yeah, a few more Pettersson points, a couple more dubs, we're probably having a different conversation, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. Winning fixes everything, and it creates demons, I guess, as well, man. Like, again, we're a fickle bunch. I'm an emotional guy, and I don't know. I if he had more points, I probably would be given that energy. But right now, since I feel like it's not even just about the points. I just want to see more consistent domination from him offensively. Like even just like with his instincts, him skating faster, him just being more direct and assassin-like with the puck until I don't see that consistently. Again, I'm just not making any moves. I feel like if the Canucks were 10-5-1, but Pettersson was playing like this, I'm still like, yeah, I don't know. But on the other end of the spectrum, like people are like, yo, he needs help so we can have more offensive zone starts, like all these things, right? And I wonder if like you feel like maybe Pettersson's lack of offense has more to do with the situation the Canucks are like putting him in, with having nobody behind him, because it's pretty funny. Like, they don't have anyone behind him. All in all, though, Trevor, I was gonna get you to expand on that. Now my mind's going all over the place. Can I ask you about Aatu Räty? Because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been like, "Oh, Bo Horvat. You know, this guy might make Team Canada, and we lost this trade, and boom, bam, and all we got was Räty and Hronek." And I'm like, I still feel like that's a pretty damn good trade, and I've been impressed by Räty. And honestly, I was a little surprised to see this guy had 6 points already this season.
Yeah, well, he's picked him up a good chunk of those over the past few games, and look, the work rate's there. He's actually made it on our to the week twice so far this year before he was really getting any points. And I know it's just 1 goal so far. But I think his game's trending in the right direction. I just think the speed is a bit of a factor. A good defensive player, and look, he was the first guy off the boards in the penalty kill in the Colorado game. I mean, I know we got scored on, but I thought his tenacity in the penalty kill was good. It's pretty hard to defend Nathan MacKinnon, but there's good players in every hockey team, but Nathan MacKinnon is another stratosphere. I've liked Räty's game, the reliability in the draw. I just, again, I would like there'd be more offensive pop in his game, but he's trending in the right direction.
He looks like
he's 100% NHL. I think he could be a third line center, to be honest with you. Like, I think right now, he might be better than Teddy Bluger, right? And that was kind of the barometer heading into the season, is can Aatu Räty be a third line center? We weren't thinking this guy was going to be a top 6 center. Can he be a third line center in this league? And I think there's more goal scoring to come. I think there is more offense there in his game. I think he's got a great shot if he can find the space to utilize it a bit more. There's a lot to like about Aatu Räty, and I think that's an underrated development, the fact that he looks like a third line center right now for your Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah. I think in an alternate universe, if the Canucks still had Pius Suter, just like a little bit more help down the middle, and if like Hedl was healthy, I know we're playing a lot of if games here, but I feel like Räty would get some time with Elias Pettersson on the top line. Like, if they're like the way that they're using Kane, you could probably use Räty like that too. I know the speed is like a little different there, but I don't know, man. I just think that gives heaviness, and his like ability to also just have effort defensively would bring a new tier to that line. And we talked about this earlier. Like, if you're using Pettersson in a matchup role, like putting Evander Kane there is just obviously inevitable based on, I don't know, like the lack of depth on this team, and just Foot's utter belief in Evander Kane. But
19 minutes in Colorado, 19 minutes once again.
So I'm saying it just you're not. I feel like you're not even getting the most out of Pettersson defensively there. Because here's the thing, like, you know, people are like talking about Pettersson winning the Selke, and then some people are like, yo, but he's still on the ice for a lot of goals against here and there, which is the truth, because he's playing a lot of minutes against the top guys. And I'm like, yo, sure, he's killing it. I can see it in his eyes. He's killing it. But his line, it still has Evander Kane on it, and you're not gonna find any great defensive line with Evander Kane, and you're gonna always be scored on every now and then.
It's not the right mix. It's absolutely not the right mix for a guy taking that many D zone draws. Yeah. And I mean, it's something to think about when I'm in the press box tonight and talking to Foot after the game. Evander Kane playing with Elias Pettersson. We'll see how tonight goes. I'd rather be talking about a win and ask the positive questions. But Kyle, you said you got to go. I don't know if we've got another ad break, but let's maybe try to do goats of the week in a comment or two before we wrap up here on Locked On Canucks.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's shout out Indeed. We'll get to some comments on the other side.
All right, Indeed, man. Oh man, if you're an employer looking to hire, or you're looking for a job, you gotta use Indeed. It's the only place to go when you're looking for employment, or if you're looking to hire, because Indeed makes it easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh baby, they got the sponsored jobs that gets your post right to the top of the page. Boom, bam. And the everydayers know, the long-time everydayers know, when Kyle Bowen left me after a really horrid 2024-25 Canucks season, Deepak Roberts III joined the show. And I used Indeed to find that beauty. And if you're using Indeed, I believe they got a $75 sponsored job credit that you can use by going to Indeed.com/lockedon. Just make sure you mention this show, Locked On Canucks, and go to Indeed.com/lockedon for your $75 sponsored job credit. Go get it today.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bow, and that right there is adult film star Trevor Beggs. Trevor, man, Movember. I guess I got to do mine too. I've never done it. I don't even know how to shave my beard, so I don't know how to make a mustache. But maybe
I'll shave it for you at the stew later. We'll do it on the postcast.
Awesome. That's camaraderie.
Yeah, man.
How does your family like your mustache?
My daughter goes back and forth over whether she likes it or not. My wife says she likes it, but sometimes like when you're married, you kind of know it's like a yes. She's a little tentative about it, but look, it's better than it was. Like my mustache used to never grow in the middle. It used to never connect. I would call it the anti-Hitler stash, and now it connects in the middle. So there you go. It's I'm getting hairier as I get older.
It looks good though. I feel like you should keep it. Not gonna lie, I think it's a look.
I'll think about it.
It's show business, Trevor. Sometimes you got to put show business before the,
Yeah, let's go get that wax and curl it.
Yeah.
It's me,
Anyways,
Mario.
Mother Knocker saying, "Yo, Kyle, what kind of sausage are you gonna eat tonight if the Canucks win tonight?" I think what he's alluding to is on Friday I made a video saying if the Canucks were to win 2 straight, I would eat like the craziest hot dog ever. Did you see the video? You didn't see
I
it?
did not know. No.
I'll see if I can get the hot dog up on screen here. But all in all, though, I'm kind of disappointed that. Obviously, kind of disappointed that we didn't get the full 2 points on Sunday because it was an overtime and the chance was there, because it puts a lot of pressure on like what's happening tonight, and it's Demko versus Hellebuck, and I feel like the Canucks need 2 points here.
Yeah, well, they're in this win one lose one stretch, so by that math, it's a dub tonight, bud.
Well, I just think that like going into what do you guys calling this? Like the road trip of hell or whatever, like whatever's coming up here, and
it's a tough one. The road trip of hell is probably a little hard. It's just 3 games, but it's Carolina, Tampa, and Florida. Those are 3 tough teams, and it's a long trip.
And maybe it's a good thing that they're going on this hard ass road trip, and they'll be in Florida. Like, maybe they're going out and doing their thing. Maybe they get to party a bit more, get together, be comrades. I heard earlier that somebody might have seen these guys at Banter Room on Saturday after the Blue Jackets game. So I don't know if it was Banter, but with Thomas Muller, like they're having a good time, they're partying. Like I feel like they need to get a little closer, and Florida might do them well.
Hey man, it's hopefully Thomas Muller rubs off him. I thought about that when you told me when I was there on Sunday, and I was like looking for signs of sluggishness, and of course they led them to 2 early, but they played a hell of a game. So the Thomas Muller energy appeared to rub off on them. So keep that in your back pocket, in your Canucks notebook, how they play after Thomas Muller. Whoa, that's a sausage right there, Kyle. Holy smokes!
That's the hot dog I said I was going to eat if we won 2 straight.
I'm calling that one the DP.
Well, yeah, what would you call this hot dog? I'm calling it the U-turn.
I'm calling it the DP. You can, anyways, yeah. Let's do Goats of the Week.
Okay, okay. All right, Trevor.
Goats of the Week here on Locked On Canucks. Oh, am I muted? Am I muted? Am I live? Okay. Well, Goats of the Week here on Locked On Canucks. I don't have it in front of me, but I did do it prior to the episode. My number 1 goat of the week was Brock Besser. Brock Besser with the game-winning goal on Saturday night. The game winner against the Nashville Predators in overtime as well. You're paying this guy to score goals in big moments. I know it's maybe shift to shift. He's not the most elusive player, not the quickest player, but he's scoring goals to let the Canucks in points last week, and 2 huge goals to get the Canucks their 2 wins of the week. So Brock Besser ends up being the goat of the week. Number 2 is Quinn Hughes. It looks like he's playing his best hockey of the season right now. He did return at the beginning of the week against the Nashville Predators, and man, oh man, he was just, to me, Maz ahead of Cale Makar in the Colorado game. The 2 best defensemen in the NHL goes Hughes and then Cale Makar.
I gotta go, Trevor. I gotta meet. Can you finish the episode?
I think so. Yeah. All right. Number 3 goat of the week was Drew O'Connor. Man, oh man, this got heating up for your Vancouver Canucks. 7 points in his last 6 games. A couple bingos last week. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's also scoring some goals now. You gotta love it. There you go. Number 4 was Elias Pettersson, 3 assists in 4 games. Yeah, we're waiting for more goal scorer to come. He's got to shoot the puck more. But man, oh man, he is an electric defensive player. And he's making plays in the offensive zone that makes you want to believe that better success is coming along. And number 5, Jake DeBrusk. 3 goals this week in 4 games. He's doing that thing again where he just goes on a heater. Man, oh man. And Jake DeBrusk, I mean, if you're betting on FanDuel, anytime go for Jake DeBrusk might not be a bad bet right now. That's it for this episode of Locked On Canucks. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy was Kyle Bowen. If you like the show, make sure you share it with a friend, share it with a colleague, share it with your mom, baby. Let's go. On the podcast side, you can follow us with a 5-star review on YouTube. Hit the goddamn like button and make sure you subscribe to the show. It helps us out a lot. I'm Trevor Beggs, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.